Chihiro Rokuhira, the main character of Kagurabachi, a manga series posted on Shonen Jump, and today I will be explaining just how strong he truly is. To start off, let me first explain the basis of Kagurabachi. In Chihiro's world, there are people called sorcerers, people who use sorcery through spirit energy, an energy source that is essentially someone's life force, which they can use to enhance someone's physical powers. These sorcerers I mentioned have clans, and one of the clans, the Hisaku, killed Chihiro's father, Kunishige Rokuhira. They killed Kunishige for the enchanted blades. And just what are the enchanted blades, you ask? And why did they have to kill Chihiro's father for them? Well, Kunishige was a famous blacksmith, and when he was younger he had created 7 blades, one of which he had kept hidden because these are not no ordinary blades. Each were infused with sorcery, amplifying the spirit energy within people who wield them, so much so that the user's bodies cannot contain the amount of energy. This leads to the spirit energy manifesting into forms of specific shapes made of potent spirit energy, which can be used for attacks. So if you cannot tell, these blades can turn a weak nobody into a real threat. And for that power, the Hisaku killed Kunishige. And they would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for the meddling of Chihiro, who dedicated his entire life from there on to retrieving the 6 blades known to the public and killing the Hisaku clan. And to achieve that, he would need something to contend with the other 6 blades, and for that very reason I shall tell y'all about Enten, the 7th blade made by Kunishige, which now Chihiro wields. Enten is infused with sorcery just like the other enchanted blades, and possesses outstanding powers that appear to be based on 3 goldfish that Kunishige bought from a shop when Chihiro was still a child. It is activated through saying its name and drawing the katana. This forms several water droplets on the edge of the blade. And just like the other blades, Enten amplifies the spirit energy inside its wielder to such an extent that it can no longer be contained inside the wielder's body, and instead concentrates into a giant mass of spirit energy, which in Enten's case manifests in the form of 3 giant goldfish which swim out the blade of the katana. The slashes or swings from the katana that require spirit energy are greatly enhanced. Chihiro has 3 techniques for the blade based on each goldfish. Kuro, which summons a black goldfish covering his arm and katana in a black liquid. This technique releases a flying slash of any size that can be used for a long range attack. These slashes are significantly more powerful than the normal slashes, instantly severing the torsos of guards and making deep cuts in the ground. Whatever size the goldfish is, the attack will be the same, meaning if the goldfish is small, the slash will be small. This versatility combined with Chihiro's skill and swordsmanship makes it his most used technique, his typical opening move. Kuro also has a secondary ability called Shred, where it uses the same amount of spirit energy as it normally does, but uses less power to release more rapid, smaller, and controlled slashes, which also do less damage on Chihiro's body. It is shown that Chihiro can release up to 20 small slashes from small goldfish which move around him. He can also use these goldfish to imbue other people or objects with his spirit energy, effectively enhancing them. And that's just all he can do with that one slash. He also has Nishiki, where Chihiro summons a tricolored goldfish which becomes a cover of sorts that Chihiro wears. This causes color streaks to follow the motion of his blade and body. This technique also imbues Chihiro's attacks with high density spirit energy, outputting significant more powerful attacks. Nishiki also grants Chihiro greatly enhanced movement speed and agility, allowing him to blitz a multitude of enemies almost instantly. This ability also has a secondary ability where instead of enhancing Chihiro's movements, Nishiki aids them instead, decreasing the physical strain on his body while still allowing for increased movement speed. And lastly, Chihiro has a technique called Aka, where he summons a red goldfish which swims around Chihiro to block him from any incoming attacks while also absorbing them. But attacks with too much spirit energy won't be fully absorbed. Chihiro can also say Aka and whatever the attack name was after absorbing an attack, and red liquid will cover Enten and ready itself to use the attack back on the opponent whenever Chihiro is ready. It has not been stated how many times Chihiro can absorb the attacks or keep them or even use them, but Chihiro himself has stated that they are temporary. If you could believe it, Enten is actually not the only blade Chihiro wields. He also wields a wakizashi as a secondary for Enten, and it was also a secondary when Chihiro used his second enchanted blade, Cloud Gouger, which he had tamed the bottom half since it was broken into 2 after his battle with Genichi Sojo. Even though Chihiro didn't use Cloud Gouger a lot on offense since he only had the bottom piece, it still was a contributor to his skills for techniques like Mei, which releases a massive bolt of lightning onto targets. And from what we have seen, when Chihiro commanded the blade to use all of its energy through the attack, it easily shredded through 2 earth pillars summoned by Kiora within his storehouse. Mei also has 3 other abilities: a cloaking ability with no official name where Chihiro can cover himself in lightning, which enhances his speed. Mei Shred, where Chihiro uses his willpower and resonated with Cloud Gouger to die in his hands, leading to Chihiro being wrapped in black lightning, enhancing his speed and attack power in unimaginable ways. And lastly, Yue, which summons ice from Cloud Gouger, which can be used for offensive and defensive purposes. Back onto Chihiro's weapons, he also carries a regular katana for when he just wants to focus on his natural combat abilities. And this leads me on to Chihiro's abilities outside his weapons. Like with his speed, even without any enchanted blades, Chihiro can still move faster than someone with combat experience can see. We can see this when he arrived at Koragumi's base and killed 4 guards in one motion before they could react. His reaction speed is just as good. We see him instantly defending Hanao when Genichi Soto arrived at Haru. Even if someone managed to keep up with Chihiro's speed, they still will most likely not be able to leave any lasting damage since he has incredible durability. He was able to act as a rod for the lightning from Yui to protect civilians, and mind you, right before this he had jumped off a building. And after getting hit with this lightning, he was still able to use Enten and easily defeat a castle full of guards. This even shows us Chihiro's combat prowess. Fun fact, Chihiro doesn't actually have much training in swordsmanship, if you could believe it. A man whose father was a swordsmith, mainly uses a sword, and has one of the rarest swords, doesn't actually have any real training in swordsmanship. But for this lack of swordsmanship, he makes up for it with his natural ability to learn quick. So fast, in fact, after just observing samurai and taking a little advice from Yuraha, he was able to use a version of Lei White Purity style, a sword style that is known for its difficulty to learn. And even more to his skills, Chihiro was able to still fight against Junichi Sojo after sacrificing his arm, and mind you, this battle was only 12 seconds long. Also in the battle against Hirohiko, he was able to easily, with minimal effort, take down Hirohiko and cut his arms off. And with all of this, I would have to say Chihiro is truly the strongest in the manga. And if you want me to make more content on Kagurabachi, just like, comment, and subscribe.